All right, it is 14 minutes away from 9. Pitch Perfect 2 has opened at the cinemas, and with Rebel Wilson and Anna Kendrick back at the helm, it has all the ingredients of a box office hit. Well, I mean, Rebel Wilson, gosh. Can the sequel, though, live up to the hype of its hilarious predecessor? Well, let's find out. Kate Rodger joins me now, and you have seen it.
I have.
And you've talked to the stars.
I have, at the weekend, which was a joy and a privilege.
Well, is Rebel Wilson, is she as you would imagine she was, or is she a bit serious?
I went in thinking she was going to be serious because I'd done quite a bit of prep on her, and she takes her career in Hollywood quite seriously. And she talks about the fact that it's not that gushy Australian thing, oh my goodness, I'm doing so well in Hollywood, actually I deserve to be here, I'm talented, no one's doing what I'm doing. She wasn't, just totally down to earth, very relaxed.
Oh, that's very good to know.
She was great, she was fantastic, definitely a highlight. And as you said, have you seen, is this your thing? I've been thinking, no, it's not, is it? Acapella's not your thing.
Well, what actually even is it? Isn't this something that you would send someone to for a Mother's Day present?
Possibly, but I was amazed at where the first one went. Like, very guilty pleasure for a lot of my male friends as well, because it's kind of like a sports film. And in fact, Elizabeth Banks, the director and creator of this, she said she based it on a sports film, that it's essentially the underdogs doing well, but singing a cappella, but singing very cool a cappella. So cult hit the first one, second one, sequels, they're hard. They're like the second album, aren't they? They can do a little bit of wrong. This one doesn't. Elizabeth Banks steps up as director for the first time. It is girl power. It is. It's written by a female, cracking, hilarious script, and it's just all about the funny, which is why Rebel Wilson takes centre stage in this one. Less of a narrative, all about the funny.
Is it as good as the first one?
I think it's as good as the first one in a different way. So the first one had a little bit more guts and meaning and narrative and meat on its bones. This one, they went straight for the jokes, and Rebel Wilson, she's your man when it comes to that kind of thing. So a lot more cracking humour, lots of music, a bit more glitzier, a little bit more shinier.
Can I just say, I'm listening to it in the background, and it's really annoying me. Let's shut it down, shall we?
I knew you were not going to be into a cappella.
No.
I don't think you should go and see this film. I think lots of people will this weekend, and they will be rewarded in doing so. Jimbo, you're going for Mother's Day, aren't you?
Brilliant.
Yes,
yeah, there you go.
Oh, well, that's your... No, sorry, that's your rugby cred down in the toilet if you're going to go and see this.
The Green Bay Packers cameo in this.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so your pick for the weekend, though, The Ground We Won.
I do want to mention this. It's a Kiwi doco, and it's set in Reparoa. A couple of Kiwi filmmakers left Auckland, embedded themselves in Reparoa for an entire year with the senior rugby team down there, who are all basically manned by the local farming blokes who play rugby down there. It's a beautiful insight into rural New Zealand, into manhood.
So it's not necessarily about rugby. It's a real slice of New Zealand life.
It entirely is, and it's not an episode of Country Calendar. It's just not. It's more to it, and decided to shoot in black and white, and what an inspired idea. There are some shots in this film, Paul, that are they need to be banked for the history of New Zealand.
Sounds great.
They are gorgeous, lyrical, mystical, and fabulous. I would recommend seeing it on a big screen.
All right, is it on the big screen at the moment?
It is. It opened yesterday.
The Ground We Won, a New Zealand documentary in black and white. Top 5.
Top 5. Interestingly, Avengers clearly going straight to the top of the box office, as it is globally. But at number 2, The Woman in Gold, that I beiged out, is doing really solidly, beating Fast and Furious 7
that
at
is
the
extraordinary.
box office.
That is extraordinary.
Boychoir pops in. Haven't seen that yet. Probably should. Age of Adaline also hangs on to 5th spot there as well.
Fantastic. Actually, I want to see that, the number 5 movie, Age of Adaline. Yeah, I think it might be quite interesting. And I took your advice last week and I went to Avengers.
Excellent. No one ever takes my advice.
Well, okay, so I made a mistake. I went to the 9 o'clock showing and I slept for at least 87% of the movie.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. But I will tell you one thing. In the small amount that I saw...
Tell me anything. You slept through it.
Here's what I think. It is the best 3D movie I've ever seen. Because it wasn't just 3D effects. The whole thing was in 3D. I mean, it was fantastic.
Your eyelids were in 3D. You slept through it.
I did. I watched the whole thing through sleepy eyes. Okay, thank you very much, Kate. I'm sorry. We'll go to it and see it together because I know you want to see it again.